Snapchat under 6 o'clock show.
I think I could be a stun hun because I was trying to paint my nails before I came on. I only got the one done. So essentially, I'm a stun hun, don't you think?
I bought 5 shirts this morning and I bought them in 5 minutes. And I put it on about 10 minutes ago before coming on, one of them, and it doesn't fit, like at all. That's why I'm wearing this. So anyway, sorry. So it was an absolute nightmare getting here.
And I got to see him topless.
Yeah.
When he was changing.
So
yeah. It's been saucy.
That's
it's gonna
a
be
real
some party later on.
That's a real stun hunt for you there. What a busy week it's been. Donald Trump has been spotted. Of course, he's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. But this is something interesting. A 700-year-old church in the UK, is tourists spotted what looks to be Donald Trump's face.
It does look like him. It's the image and the hair. The hair is really good.
So apparently, this was 700 years ago, so it must be some sort of Nostradamus type thing where it was predicted maybe that
he's
Donald
back
Trump
to
was...
wreak revenge on us all for being put in a church. Also, in LA, a performance art piece has actually turned out into quite the most amazing thing ever. There's a VHS video store in LA that only stocks Jerry Maguire films, and it's only in VHS. That's the only thing that's there. And if you go in there, you make a donation. That's all Jerry Maguire videos.
Do you remember going with your brothers and sisters? Did you go with your brothers and sisters into the video shop? Mummy and Daddy would let you pick one video. Pick one, and you'd fight over the video that you'd have to get.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, this only has Jerry Maguire. Can we go back to the other picture, lads? Of the two lads having the argument. There's a picture a second ago of the two lads trying to decide which one to get.
Which, oh, look, what one? What are we going to do?
They're both Jerry Maguire. Ridiculous. And finally, yesterday was Groundhog Day. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's an annual American tradition to predict the weather, where a groundhog emerges from hibernation in Pennsylvania on the 2nd of February. And if it's cloudy, spring will arrive early. If it's sunny and the groundhog sees its shadow, they say he'll go back into his den, and that means 6 more weeks of winter.
And I think that he did have 6 more weeks of winter as predicted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's happening, right.
I believe it was. How was the week for you? Are you glad to see the back of it? Doing anything about this weekend that you might want to gloat about? We would love to hear about it. And you could bag yourself a lovely 6 o'clock show apron, courtesy of the T-shirt company. Yeah,
get in touch with us. Tell us your story. Send us your pics, and the funnier the better. Our WhatsApp number is 083 360 60 60.
Yeah, you won't know what will happen, but I'm just after messing something up.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are. It's someone else's fault. Well, the whole joke was going to be that we say the whole Groundhog Day thing again, word for word, and then it's a whole Groundhog Day joke.
But it wasn't there, so we couldn't do it. I'm like, oh no!
I couldn't do it off the top of our heads.
And we were so proud of that joke as well. Like,
it's going to be a great show, lads. If that was the best thing that didn't happen on the show, it's going to be a cracker.
So Derry Clark is back in the kitchen tonight. Hello, Derry!
How are you, sir?
Actually, it's not a bad shirt.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to rush. I had to iron it before, like 10 minutes ago. So
I can give you a load of this, then you can go looking very stylish.
That's lovely.
Wear this shirt.
Do you have it in small?
No.
Oh,
actually, I was just thinking maybe this is a bit too small for you.
Maybe that's probably it, actually.
That could be. Does that mean you're going to swap shirts and I'm going to get to see you topless as well? What is going on in TV3 tonight? I don't know what's happening.
We've been there, done that. No. No.
Jerry, babe, you and me were 2 stun huns. And things are going to be hot in the kitchen tonight. What are you cooking for?
They are actually, tonight I was just pushing the ingredients out and I was thinking, wow, this looks too simple.
Really?
But you know something, having less ingredients sometimes is more.
Really?
Yeah.
It really is. Sometimes you do too much on a plate and cooking, so this is a really nice dish. It's worth looking at. It's really nice, simple. It's a one-pot dish, really.
Okay. What is it, man?
It's chicken with fennel and onion.
Lovely.
Lovely.
And some orange.
And some orange as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to it. Now, our next guest is the longest-serving reporter on the hugely popular TV series Ear to the Ground and has been described as the Brad Pitt of farming. Welcome to the show, Darren McCullough. How are you?
Brad Pitt of farming.
The Brad Pitt. Oh, yeah, we're sticking with that, my friends.
You've been called the Brad Pitt of Friday night television. Do you know that?
Yes, I'll take it.
Beside him on the sofa, a show band star that's played all over the world. His father brought one of the first saxophones to Ireland, and he went on to become a jazz sensation with it. He's called the Brad Pitt of jazz music. Welcome back, Paddy Cole, everybody.
Brad Pitt.
The 2 Brad Pitts on the guy. Paddy, congratulations. Listenership figures to your Sunshine FM radio show are up.
Way up.
Way up.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well done, man.
Thank you very much.
So, you're popping corks. How many more did you get?
We got an extra 6,500.
Wow.
Every Sunday morning, and the last JNLR figures. So we're
Amazing.
thrilled. They're all thrilled in the station.
That's
not
great.
popping any corks. We may slip into your party tonight.
Do sure.
There
yeah.
you go.
Well, we're told Glenda's going, so fingers crossed.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
That's what could be happening.
so what do you, how do you enjoy? Do you enjoy doing the radio? Is it?
Oh, yeah. In actual fact, it's nearly 14 years ago. Sean Ashmore asked me to do it for a couple of months. And I said, on condition that I don't have to try and put on an American accent and all that sort of stuff. I like the old Monaghan accent, you know.
Yeah.
That's why he understands what I'm saying now. You know, he's from Meath.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your neighbours then?
But
It's the northeast.
and then we and then we started doing it that time, and I'm still doing it. And we got an award at the PPI Awards for it, and
And you didn't have to change your name either. Can you remember that? Like back in the 80s and 90s, it was like all DJs had different, like Dusty Rhodes and stuff.
Yeah.
You stuck with
Okay.
Paddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was it. You stuck with Paddy Cole.
the Monaghan man.
There you go. That's
What
it.
kind of a show is it? What do you play? What do you do?
I played. That was one of the conditions as well. I said I'd like to play my own selection of music, and I play everything from stuff that was recorded in the 1920s, jazz, classics. We do some comedy. And big band stuff and 60s, a lot of 60s stuff, you know.
Right.
Lovely.
I
And
wouldn't be seeing any Lady Gaga. I'll have to watch the match tomorrow night now.
Yeah, she's
Super
gonna be
Bowl
on.
to see
Super
Lady
Bowl.
Gaga.
There you go. Oh, sure, lash her out this
I
Sunday.
wouldn't miss her.
There you go, for a bit of a laugh. Beside you on the couch, the Brad Pitt of farming. Is this something
God.
that's thrown at you all the time, Dara?
No.
No.
Where did that come from? Where did we get that line?
It's one of the lads in the office. They're just like, well, you know what?
Thanks, whoever you are, but
Someone
yeah.
fancies you inside the
I think
TV3
that might
office.
be,
That's
yeah,
it.
might be it.
New series of Ear to the Ground, one of the most popular shows. And this time you were based in America for this series, were you?
Yeah, well, I got a chance to go out to the States during the summer. And basically, we tracked down some young Irish guys who were going out to these massive farms out. We were out in the equivalent of Leitrim and Longford of the US, so it was North and South Dakota, two of the least densely populated states in the whole of the US.
Yeah.
Wall-to-wall farming out there, very rural, real Trump town kind of America,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
quite conservative.
Have you got it all filmed already? Is it all in
It's
the
all done,
Right.
and in fact, most of it's been aired. Met some fascinating characters, like an Irish guy who was classic Irish dairy farmer, had 200 cows, 150 acres, sold up the whole lot, went out to North Dakota, and is now milking 4,500 cows.
Wow.
And
What?
just has this huge operation, and is a multimillionaire on the back of it, you know.
Right, so it worked
but
out for him.
it's quite the sight to see, you know.
Yeah.
You mentioned Trump. When you were filming all this would have been, I presume, during the campaign, was it?
Yeah, so it was in August, so it was before the election, you know, and we were doing a fair bit of driving. Of course, on the map, you know, we say, oh yeah, that fella's there, this fella's over here, and it looks like it's, you know, their next door neighbour,
Yeah.
so you find yourself driving for
Because you're used to
4
the
hours.
Irish maps. Yeah.
But so we listened to a bit of radio, and the radio was scary, you know, so you tune into the local radio stations, without exception, all sponsored by religious organisations. So even the news bulletins were kind of skewed.
Oh, God.
And it was just around the time when Obama had pushed through some gender equality kind of measures. And of course, this was driving all the local radio stations and presenters and news bulletins bananas. So I said, okay, this is maybe not that representation, so let's try some of the national stations. And we went on to an AM long wave band, and it was some guy, Rush Limbaugh.
Oh,
who
yes.
was
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
polemicist
They're pretty
guy.
hardcore, yeah.
And there's no discussion. It's one guy in the studio, and he's just barking into a microphone, and like 3 bad words were liberal, progressive, and Obama.
And now
yeah.
we know how it turned
Terrible.
out. That's why you need your Sunshine Radio.
There we go.
Yeah.
Bring
more-
Paddy
You don't
with you.
have to listen. We have no football, Brexit, no none of that.
None of it.
Brexit-free
None
zone,
of it.
yeah.
We
We
don't
don't-
amazing plug for your show.
How,
Another 6,000 this Sunday.
it'll be up
Their
next
sources.
time. How would you see, because obviously you're one of Ireland's most respected jazz musicians, how do you think the jazz scene is? How's it faring in Ireland at the moment?
Well, I think the jazz scene has changed completely over the last few years. A lot of modern jazz now, and it wouldn't be as well attended as it used to be. Very few bands playing the Dixieland jazz. Paul Sweeney and the boys are playing a bit every Sunday night, but very few bands. Des Hopkins in Kildare, he still keeps a Dixieland
But
band.
would you say
very
that's down
few.
to the audience not being there anymore? Like, do younger people not
Yeah,
like
and
jazz?
the younger people are into more progressive jazz, more modern jazz. I like all sorts of music, you know, but Dixieland jazz would have been my favourite. We did 9 trips to New Orleans with a band of my own, playing Dixieland jazz. And it was always our favourite, you know. And even at the Cork Jazz Festival now, very little Dixieland jazz, except from Irish bands. Irish bands would be playing it, you know. But it's,
with the, I suppose you've probably heard that La La Land, the movie that's up for 14 Oscars, which should not be up for 14 Oscars. It's no Titanic, right?
Don't get her started.
I can't. But it's about jazz. You know, Ryan Gosling is a jazz musician in it, and they do talk about, you know, why it's falling away.
Yeah.
Do you like that that's kind of been brought up in conversation?
well, it's, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I will go and see it. But there was a guy, a famous Irish jazz player called Louis Stewart, who died last year, unfortunately. But somebody asked Louis Stewart one time, what would you do if you won the lotto? And he said, I'd keep playing jazz till I lost it again. So that shows you the way it is. Like jazz players never made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like we made money from playing 60s music, all different sort of music people could dance to, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's,
Dara, one of the things that has come up, we mentioned Trump a couple of minutes ago, and it came up in the campaigns as well, it's climate change. And I presume that's one of the things you would have been discussing with farmers in America and here as well, I guess.
Yeah, we actually had a feature on Ear to the Ground only about 2 or 3 weeks ago where we actually, one of what kind of triggered it was that Mary Robinson, the former president, basically asked or suggested to people that they maybe eat less meat or go meat-free altogether, become vegetarian, because of the impact that the gases that cows fart and belch have on the atmosphere.
Brad Pitt would never say the words fart and belch. Can I just say? This is unbelievable.
I've just ruined it all now. I've ruined it all.
that's a bad Brad Pitt moment there.
Ruined the illusion.
So we went down to a cattle mart in Carnew in Wicklow, or Wexford. It's on the Wicklow-Wexford border. Is it Wicklow, is it?
Yeah.
And asked farmers there, you know, we actually got a vegan chef to come with us, prepare a shepherd's pie that was vegetarian and see if the farmers would eat it. And so in the course of chatting to them, we asked them, you know, do you think that you have much of an impact on climate change, what you're doing on your farms? And they were basically saying, don't really think that there's that much climate change happening, and don't think that anything that we do on our farms has any impact.
Really?
Which is a little bit worrying, because farming and agriculture contributes about a third of all the greenhouse gas emissions.
That much, really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's a biggie. And yeah, I think there's some big questions out there for all of us to grapple with, particularly in the ag sector, about the sustainability of livestock farming, you know?
Yeah.
And I suppose...
Do you think it would help to what Mary Robinson said, to stop eating so much meat?
Or eat less,
You know what? We don't have to all become vegans.
Right.
I think, but there is a thing in Western culture. We consume more meat than, forget about the environment for a second, we consume more meat that is healthy for us.
Yeah,
you know? Be it processed meats or whatever. We don't need to eat. We're lucky to live in a wealthy part of the world, in the wealthy West, where we've got, you know, we've got strawberries and fresh
I suppose, so,
produce on the shelf.
What
every
you're
week
saying,
of
I
the
suppose,
year.
what Mary Robinson is saying, cut back a little bit. One thing I wanted to touch on before we get to the break, and I know we're tight on time, was the fake meat. Or how do they make it? Is it bioprinting?
There's a whole world of technologies. There's billions being pumped into this whole thing, because there's a lot of tech entrepreneurs.
Test tube meat, is it?
Yeah, so you've got in vitro meat, so that's basically meat that's grown in a lab. There's guys in Silicon Valley who are trying to develop 3D printers that literally print meat.
What? Now, there's my head. That's my head kind of gone exploded.
Have you tasted it?
What does that even mean?
I've never got my hands on it. But, you know, there's a whole...
Hey, if you have it, send it into the 6 o'clock show.
Derry will cook it up next Friday for us. It'll be great. We'll be laughing.
There's a whole load of vegetarian options already out there, you know, corn and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and they're pretty convincing, you know.
They are, yeah. I know. My missus is a vegetarian. She has the quorn.
She does, she does.
The Fraser stuffed with the quorn. Right, we'll check into the kitchen in a few minutes. Also after the break, the ultimate Dublin girlo, your one Nikita, joins us on the couch. You'll be bleeding mad to miss it. That's coming up. Hang on.